boost more rides for the folks that are recruiting these riders on their own.
That's
Um,
awesome.
one of the places that we're excited about getting opened, if it all pans out the way we hope, is Puerto Rico. So he
Good. I
that
go to Puerto Rico.
yeah, yeah. So that would be an exciting kind of video for you to do your first ride in Puerto Rico, I think.
That'd be awesome. So cool. So, what are some of the things you think some of these cities that aren't as active as they should be can work on right now?
The one thing, and I go back to Mario and Jeff on this, and that is recruiting one passenger at a time, not trying to large scale and go to the airport or work an event. To me, the folks that have had the most success are those that are building a relationship with their current Uber and Lyft riders and then going out and saying, "Hey, would you be willing to help me with this new venture that I've got going on? All you have to do is give us one ride. If you don't like it, go back to Uber and Lyft. But if you do like it, can you keep using Revo?" And I think the folks that are finding the most success are converting one other competitor's rider at a time over to Revo. And another thing that came up on a call, probably a month ago between you and Jeff, and it hit me so hard, was, can you imagine if every ride you have done through Uber and Lyft all these years had been paying you a commission the way Revo is, the amount of money that you would have. That, man, that just punched me right in the gut as to what our potential is to grow wealth for these clients and
Right.
drivers.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about it is, and I think you're 100% right. Like, if every single drive, if every driver would just think about it, like every drive I do on a daily basis, how many different customers do you do rides for when you're doing one of the other services, Uber,
Mhm.
Lyft, whatever? And then you sit there and go, man, if I had just converted them over, if I added up every, like, now it's
Mm.
very easy for you to do the math.
Yeah.
Take the fare, and if that was your customer, if you're a driver and that was your customer, not only are you getting paid for the driving, but also you're getting paid 3% of that fare
Right, right.
every single time. Like,
And if
add it up
somebody
on a
else is
daily
doing the
basis.
ride, you're still making the 3%.
I mean, like, let's yeah, if they're not doing the ride, you're still making the 3%, 100%. But let's look at it. Let's say you did 10 rides in a day and the average ride was $25. That's $250. Whatever you made on the, if you made the 70% times 3%, that's $7.50 extra on a daily
Mhm.
basis that you would make. Let's say you only work 5 days a week, that's $37.50. Now,
Right.
I know you're going to make a lot more than that, but then if you start multiplying that out, like you just said, if that's one customer, two customers, three customers, 10 customers, like, but you've got to be consistent in what you do every single time you get somebody in the car or every time you talk to them. And it's not just, hey, download this app. Like, you've got to explain the story. I've always told people facts tell, stories sell. When I tell the
Right.
story, this morning I had a call with James and Lisa and some of the other staff members with a company, and I didn't like, they were wanting us to utilize their product, which I think could be great. But if you notice, I tell them the story, and by the time I get done with the story, they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's a great
They're
concept."
wanting to come on board.
Yeah, it's like, it's never, and it's all about the story. It's all about what we're doing. And I think that if our reps and our drivers and our IBOs and everyone else got better at telling the story, I think you would skyrocket with
Mhm.
our business. It's like, you just can't say, "Hey, this is another app. Oh, it's the same old thing. Just download it. You're going to save some money." Hey, you know what? Our drivers are really, really trying to do everything we can to build a community so that our drivers get paid more money, our customers pay less money, and then
Mhm.
over time, like, one of the things I put up on our deal this weekend is instead of utilizing our service in Texas because I was going to be driving a lot, I rented a Tesla through Turo, and it just once again revitalized and I mean, put it deeper into my head. What we're
Mhm.
doing is so vital for our drivers because I utilize and I know some of you are going to be on here and you're going to be like, "Oh, that's never going to happen. Nobody ever
I
is
was
going to
in the
make."
car. I was
That's
blown
right. I
away.
took Lisa out to dinner and we utilized it.
Yep.
Um, but the thing about it is, I know some people are going to say that's never going to happen. Nobody ever, it's all, and listen, there are going to be a certain number of people that will never get in a driverless car. They just won't. Great. Guess what? We'll still have drivers for that if we need it. But that's coming. And if you put your head in the sand and you don't think about the future, my job is to think about 5, 10, 15 years down the road for us and how I can make sure this is a viable business. We're not selling out. We're not going public. We utilize our blockchain and node network, which tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, I would encourage all those that are interested in really, really going forward with what we're doing in the blockchain space and utilizing it for Rev. I would have every single person you can possibly get on this call tonight at 8 p.m. Same link that you're using right now. Tony and I will be doing this.
You just made it exciting. You added Tony.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Tony's the exciting part, not me. But having Tony and I do this tonight, we're going to really take 2025, and it's time. We've been building this engine. We've been building this car, and it's time to take it off. But back to the whole thing with driverless cars is, let's say it's 5 years from now. Guess what? If you don't plan ahead as a driver and you don't have any, like, let's say you just keep driving every single day, you keep doing the same thing every single day for the next 5 years. 5 years from now, guess what? I don't care if it's 2 years, 5 years. I think it'll be less than 5 years that I really think mass adoption is going to happen, especially after being in that. I love how Lisa's reading the chat. I'm so happy that my eyes are going bad. Now I can't read the chat, so I can't see what people are saying anymore. But the thing about it is, if you don't plan ahead, if you're a driver now and you start planning ahead, guess what? If they get rid of, we have to have driverless cars, because guess what? We would have to do the same thing. We have to stay up with the times. We would have to use driverless cars, self-driving cars, whatever you want to call it. And if you have a base of customers, guess what? Maybe you could not work so much anymore. Maybe you could take time off.
You're making money while you're with your family.
Yeah, you can make money while you're sleeping. I know some of you haven't really branched out and started doing it in other cities, but all these cities that are open right now, guess what? I'm just like all of you. I'm an independent rep within this industry as well, because with our node network, at some point, this decentralizes. I don't own this thing. I'm not in charge of it. We'll have votes that take place and everything. Right now, I'm kind of steering the ship, but I'm going to start building my own customer base. It's not competing with you. And some people go, oh, that's a company competing. No. I will get paid like all of you at some point. Someday, I hope I get paid. I don't get paid now. But someday, my goal is to actually make money off of this as well. And the only way I'm going to be able to do it is utilizing the same plan that you guys have. So those cities that are open, get ready, because I'm about to start doing everything I can to put more customers. And I'm going to try to get as many of those customers as I possibly can, and drivers, because I know that that's how I'm going to make money long term. So I'll let you go, Lisa. I appreciate you jumping in and sharing that.
Thank you.
Lisa and Evelyn and I are actually going to be spending time today and tomorrow. We're going to take about a couple hours. We're going to have together a whole course and when you're ready to do a city right now, you go to Lisa. She sends you an information thing. She tells you what you need to do, which is great. Well, you'll still have that. But we're going to have it so when we're going to start automating this stuff in a big, big way. So Lisa and I, either today or tomorrow, make sure that we do this. We're going to get on and take this whole course, and we'll go from there. So
all right, thank you.
You're good? All right, James, why don't you undo yourself or whatever we do.
Okay, can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. All right, so James is our CTO, our chief programmer, and he's the one that gets yelled at the most outside of me. And I will tell you this, I have given him so much crap in the last few months. And I will tell you, if you understood what James does behind the scenes on his own, it's like we've had to make some changes and cut back on some things and do some things differently. But James has always weathered the storm. I'll tell you right now, he has. I utilized the app this weekend, and obviously there's things that we're going to want to add. There's things we're going to want to get better. There's some things that I told him. I'm like, listen, we got to make sure that the driver and the client can communicate through text. And that's one of the things we're going to work on. But there's other things that we're going to add. But I will tell you, the baseline of this app works very, very well. We're working on pricing every day. I'm telling you, if you really saw the things that go on behind the scenes with the limited amount of staff that we have, these guys do Herculean work. I'm just telling you 100%. Like, I would put our team up against anything they have at Uber, because they've got, they've got tons of money. They do all these different things. We've done everything we possibly can to keep our costs as low as we can. Because as we grow, we want to make sure that we use AI. We want to make sure that we use everything we possibly can. So I just want to give James the accolades that he deserves after what I went through this weekend using the app. The only mess up was on my own, and it worked extremely well. So I wanted to give him those kudos. And I know going into 2025, we're going to start giving him more resources to do the things that he needs to do to accelerate. So James, you want to give your updates and things that we're doing right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that. Quite a few updates. I think the primary one that's been in my backlog has been this sound notification, and finally cracked the code in terms of iOS. The way they allow you to do certain things, you got to be very prescriptive of how they want you to approach the custom coding. So let me showcase a demo. This will be released this week. And I plan, once I get final testing done, probably by end of today, I will submit it to the App Store, and every driver.
Can I ask you a question before I forget it and throw
Sure.
you off?
Mhm.
Where are we with, I know you've been working on deep links or whatever into that. Are we still working on that?
Yeah, we're looking at that too. So the theme there is to have an easier experience of people sharing the REVO ecosystem, and to have it just done by an app download. So that's going to make it really easy, where you could have a QR link or a QR code link, an email link, and that's going to be tied to the app download. And when they download the app, it will just streamline right to your network. There's some capabilities that I discovered that we do have to use an outside service, but it will really promote the utilization and the onboarding process. So
that'll take, like, right now, if you don't know what we're talking about, when you utilize our app, you unfortunately you can't just send someone the app and they download it, because they won't be tied to you and you get commissions off of it. Right now, what we have to do is you have to use your QR code or your link from your affiliate portal. Then they have to download the app. They have to verify their email. I'm sorry, they go in and they fill out their information through your QR code or your link, which that ties them to you. Then they have to verify their email. Then they download the app. They put their information in again, and it links everything up.
it links everything again.
Which,
Yep,
unfortunately, is a little cumbersome, but it's the only way that it can be done. James and I, in the beginning, that was like our main focus, to try and get around that. But as time has gone on, James has been working on this. What do you think the chances of that being done in the next 30 to 60 days are?
Well, after I get over this list of things, probably be first top priority. I don't have.
I mean, do you think it's pretty going to be? I mean, do you think it is doable? Correct.
It is doable. Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. That's the greatest news we could have. We can be a little patient then.
Yeah. Let me.
All right, cool. Go ahead with your demo.
The demonstration to what to expect. Pretty kind of a simple demo, but it will really facilitate just the awareness of a reservation being booked. So hopefully you can see my screen.
Yep.
Okay. So I have 3 devices here. I have an iOS device, which you can see this is my phone right here. And then I have another device here, an iOS device, and I have an Android. So I have 2 driver apps, one on iOS or iPhone and one on Android. And what I want to do is just show you what the experience is going to be like for the driver, just to see what's going to happen. So we'll do a quick reservation. I'll just go to the airport and we'll book a ride. Do an SUV. So as soon as this occurs, there's a couple things that's going to happen. On a favorite driver, only the favorite driver will be notified. If it's an unknown, you have no favorite driver, and you just choose to say, hey, I need a ride, it will broadcast to everybody within a radius of that location. So when I confirm, let me go and confirm. My demo gods are hopefully with me today. There we go. All right. So you'll hear a sound notification. You will see what the driver earning potential is. And so that notification can be done in several things. You can ignore it because you may have other things going on, or you can view the ride. So you can see both drivers nearby did get the notification, both on iOS and Android. And you can look at the potential earnings and be able to view the details around that. So if I want to go scroll up, I can see the location. We'll add a few more information in there. So things around, hey, how close are you? Kind of the same thing that you would have received if you would have just got a push notification. So this will be able to be viewed, but you do have to have the app running and online. And as you can see here, it will stay on the screen for 2 minutes. We can set the threshold if you feel that that's too long or that's too short, and you can make a decision. So if I want to go and choose to ignore it on this one, but I want to go and view it on this one, it will go back to the exact same screen that you would expect. I can see the details and make a decision on either accepting or not taking that ride. So the key here is to get you notified based on the sound, as well a visual notification that was prompted up. And if you choose to do nothing, that will stay for 2 minutes and it will just disappear. So you can proceed with other things on the phone. So this is exclusive to our app and nowhere else. So if you have on Android, it behaves differently based on the device. On Android, if you have it where it's running on the background, let's say you're on a browser or you're doing something else, it will bring up the app with the prompt. With iOS, Apple disallows that. So it will just give you a push notification with your whatever sound that you're associated with, and it will receive that. But if you're on the app and you're not doing anything, it will broadcast and send a sound notification to that device.
So that's coming. That's what you're about to upload.
Upload. Yep, that requires an app update. There's a lot of code changes on the app itself, so that have to be done on both devices. A couple other things.
I'm sorry.
Any questions?
No, I think this is great. Like, this is one of the things we've been, having issues with the sound and all that kind of stuff. So I think we're finally going to get that handled and taken care of. Two of the things that, so some of the things that we are working on right now, I talked with you about the communication for the drivers back and forth to the client prior to getting in the car and that type of thing. So we're working on that. Lisa just asked about, can you add something to our wish list? Since it's Christmas, let's call it a wish list.
Well, let me get to that because I think I know where she's going to go with that. So
adding stops.
Another thing that we have is the ability to do gift cards. So in the app, this is just a prototype of kind of what we're trying to provide is the ability to gift any friends, family, and be able to get them also aware of the REVO Rideshare. So if you send them an email, let's say you want to send them an email, you can go in and this I'm still working on because right now it currently stands where you do have to be an existing REVO user, but I'm going to set it up because I got to think about the onboarding process for folks that are not REVO users, are not clients yet. But this will give us the ability to promote that. So there's going to be an onboarding process. So in this case, I'm already a driver. It recognized that, or a rider, and I can give that individual a certain amount and gift it. What that will do is send an email notification of that rider and a push notification saying, hey, so-and-so gifted you X $100 and now it's in your wallet. So now that balance will be sitting in your wallet so you can go in and use it across for future rides.
That's awesome. One of the things that Lisa just asked me about that I don't know if it's already on our list, if we should add it to our list. And listen, guys, if you have things that you would like us to add to our wish list, just understand everything is done on a priority basis. Like, there's some things that if emergency comes up, we've got to jump to that. But I'm about to, I am going to 100% give Jane more of the resources that he needs to accelerate what we want to do. But one of the things Lisa was asking about is the ability to add extra stops. Maybe we can look into adding that in the future.
Yeah.
If you could add that to your list. I think these are great things. So what are some of the other?
Yeah, a couple of things. So this has been a long-term research to make sure that things are built correctly. And so Google announced the ability for developers to invoke turn-by-turn directions within the app. So currently, as you guys all know, as a driver, it will tell you where to go, but you use an external app like Google Maps, Waze, Apple Maps, whatever mapping tool to direct on where to do the pickup and then the drop off. So Google now provides a turn-by-turn developer kit that can be invoked in the app, so you're not leaving in the app. And so that's going to be invoked. So you're going to stay in the app when the ride comes in and you do, hey, you arrived location, you can click on go to your destination. It will give you turn-by-turn inside the application, and we're using Google's turn-by-turn capability as part of that. Now, if you opt out, we'll also provide that. So if you choose to not use that and still want to use your preference of your navigation application, we will as well.
That's awesome. So one of the things I want people to understand too is like, as a company, we try to keep our costs as low as we possibly can. And I would just tell all of you, just so you understand and know, maybe we just need to do some videos so people can send people to those videos, James, and some, because I know what people love to do is every time it's like, oh, let me just see how much it would cost to go from here to here with REVO as opposed to Uber. Or maybe I want to see this. Every time someone utilizes that right now, we get charged whether they do it right or not, correct?
For what
like just testing it. Like if I'm in Kansas City and I was, oh, let me just see how the app works.
Mm-hmm.
You and I've talked about it, right? If somebody goes in there, does a ride, they don't actually do the ride, they just want to see what it would cost. Every time we hit Google's platform, we get charged.
Correct.
Right?
It's a service. Absolutely.
Yeah. So just so you guys know, the least you can use it, the better it is for us. James and I are actually working on trying to find blockchain ways of doing it. Tony actually may have some other ideas on that. So if you could do me a favor and try to keep that to a minimum, I mean, I know it's very, hey, when you're sitting with somebody, you want to show them, but maybe like we need to have some videos out so you can just go, hey, this is what it would cost to go from here to here. Maybe we can take some of the rides we've done in every city and do the demos on those. But just understand every time we utilize this app, it costs, if we're utilizing, we don't have any other choice right now but to use Google. So every time you do a demo or a test on it, it costs us money. So, our goal is to make as much money as we possibly can so we can pay that out as much as we can. So awesome. Anything else? When
I was going to try to show you an early preview of the turn-by-turn, but it looks like the mapping is not coming. This is what happens when you have beta software and it's not even in released yet. So, but they're constantly making changes to the tool. But
so that's probably not until 2025 yet.
Not sure. I mean, it's currently in beta. The actual ability in doing this. I actually had it working and it worked pretty well. I mean, it's pretty obviously accurate with Google's backend technology with their navigation. And as a developer, it just really gives us a lot more capabilities that we don't have to build from the ground up because we don't have that ability to store all the maps around the world and do these kind of things. So that's why we're using that infrastructure for that.
Right on.
The last update is centered around Pay Quicker. So I don't know if you want to mention that.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah. So this is our new payment for drivers to do the payouts. And so we will have an onboarding process triggered. I guess it's up to you, Paul, on when you want to trigger.
I'm ready. Let's get it.
All right. So we will start sending emails to every driver that's in the system, and we will start it will basically walk you through the onboarding process. Very basic. We had a few of our internal staff make sure that they go through it so they understand what to look what it looks like, what information it's asking for.
We
And
should create videos on that too.
Yeah, I think there were a few videos already put together, but we need to publish those. But very straightforward. The key here is to use the same email address that we sent the onboarding process, because that's what it's linked to. And if you don't, then you're not going to get linked correctly when you do our payout, because when drivers get their rides completed, we automatically trigger a operational process to send that amount to pay quicker that's tied to your email address, and that will do its payout for us. And they have all these facilities like a debit card that you can acquire, and it will be in the debit card and in your bank. So you choose how you want to receive the money, and then we'll do the rest.
Perfect. All right, so that'll go out later today, maybe?
Yes.
All right, cool. All right, listen, guys, I'm not going to take, I know we usually try to keep these 20 to 30 minutes. I'm not going to take any more of your time. I would encourage you to get every single person you possibly can on our 8 p.m. Eastern. It's a little different than we usually do 9 o'clock, but I want to do 8 p.m. Eastern this evening. It'll be on this same link. Get as many people as you can possibly on here. I'm going to do a, quick REVO overview, how we're doing, where we're at, what things are going on, because now is the time to do it. I'm telling you, between now and New Year's Eve, I mean, I'm working. Like, I'm back in town. I may have to go on one trip. Other than that, I'm going to be here working every single day to ready ourselves for 2025, to really take what we've built for the last year and go all out. We're going to be putting more money into the marketing side of things. We haven't put a lot of money into building videos, marketing, all those type of things, because I knew it was going to take 8 to 9 months for us to get the app where it needed to be to actually work. And so we're kind of at that point now. So James will hopefully be able to breathe a little easier going into 2025 and start reaping some of the benefits of all the hard work that we've all been doing. I'm telling you, when it comes to Evelyn, Lisa, Jeannie, Pedro, myself, James, some others that have helped us in the field, a lot of you have just been extremely dedicated and believed in what we're doing. And now it's time for us to make that pay off for all of us, especially with the crypto bull run that's going on and the blockchain, things that we have going on. I would encourage all of you to be on tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern on this same, link. Get every single person you possibly can. Let's make this the biggest call we've ever had, so that we can share with you what we have going on, what we've already done, what we're going to do. And then also, Tony and I have a special thing for those that become node owners, and it's going to be really a cool thing tonight. So I appreciate you all guys jumping on. I appreciate James and Lisa sharing what they've done. And I'll just tell you, watching them over the last year grow into these positions, and not only doing what they do on a normal basis, but being able to get on here and share with you guys and really become leaders is exciting for me. So thank you guys so much, and we will see you tonight at 8 p.m. Thanks, James. Thanks, Lisa. See you guys.
Bye, everyone.